What's up, CHFFL, and welcome back. Welcome to part 2 of our 2021 outlooks. If you missed part 1, put it in a card up here in the corner. But we got through 6 teams, and we're going to do 6 more here today, starting with JD. JD has a value calc VC of 271. That's 7th best in the league. If you need a refresher on value calc, I'll put that up here in the corner as well. But JD basically is middle of the road. He has the 6th overall pick and an untouched draft board. Only one keeper of note, Chris Godwin, who basically is a little weaker of a keeper than he was last year. And JD finished in the bottom half of the league in points scored last year in the same situation, so I'm putting him down in the B- tier this year. Going on to Minnie. Minnie has a VC of 220, good for last in the league, and this obviously is he traded everything to take his shot last year. He has no picks in the 3rd through 6th rounds, and I salute him for that. Think it was the right choice to make. Always take your shot at the championship when you get it. He came up 2nd, but that's still great. Still great for his resume going forward. In terms of keepers, you have a couple of things that could help him keep a steady ship this year. Kyler Murray, Kareem Hunt, both pretty decent options. Darrell Henderson maybe as well. Still, I have to put Minnie down at the bottom in the C- tier, but I think he'll understand. Next, we have my team. Derek and I have our work cut out for us, but we did last year too. Our VC is 261. That's 9th in the league. No 6th round pick, but we do have 4th overall. It's in that awkward spot where there's a big drop from the top tier, but that's okay. I think we're going to do an all right job. All these keeper options, there are 3 to really look at. Josh Allen in the 8th. T. Higgins in the 8th, Mark Andrews in the 8th, all very strong, but we need to go and grab a couple of 8th round picks to take full advantage of them. And I'm kind of factoring that into my grade, where I put us in the B tier just above Marty. Now, when I went to plug in this into the tier list, you'll see that I did bump Parker up from a B to a B plus based on the trade with Stan. I think he got more on paper value out of it. I like the trade for Parker better. That doesn't mean I'm going to move Stan down. I'm totally fine with Stan making the trade. I think if you really like Derrick Henry, you're not going to get a chance to get him any other way. He wasn't going to be available where Stan's 1st round pick was, but I did move Parker from a B to a B plus just based off of that trade. Moving on to Swan. Swan's VC is 373. Remember, Bannis had the highest with 380, but Swan is still very high. He has the 1st overall pick, which is nice, an extra 5th, extra 7th for some depth. 3 good keepers. I really like Swan's keepers with Lamar Jackson in the 11th, Justin Jefferson in the 7th. I'm assuming there's nothing to worry about. He had that little injury at practice in the last week, but I think he's good to go. CeeDee Lamb, another strong. Swan's going to have 2 receivers, have to focus on getting running backs in the early part of the draft, but at 1st overall, he obviously will be taking care of that need. I have Swan at the very top. I have him right in the S tier with Bannis. I think they're about as strong, but I picked Swan to finish number 1 overall. Don't let me down, Swan, or at least don't do as badly as Mark did last year. Moving on to Max, his VC of 244. That puts him at 10th in the league. Of course, Max's VC was pretty low last year, and he managed to outperform everybody's expectations. He has the 7th overall pick. No 5th rounder, otherwise a mostly untouched board. Similar to Derek and I, Max has 3 solid picks in the 8th. They're not strong like Derek and mine are, so I will have him ranked lower, but Justin Herbert, Mike Davis, James Robinson can make an argument for any of them, but he only has the 1 8th round pick right now, probably going to go shopping as well. That's fine. There are plenty of teams not using their 8th, actually, so the market is good for Max and for Derek and I. Max and Andy. Andy's still on his team this year. But I have Max down in the B- tier. I put him just above JD. Would not be surprised if, like last year, he outperforms. I don't know why James Robinson is so low. I'm behind on my research, but that surprises me. So I have Max ahead of Grant, mostly because I like his keepers better than the experts do right now. And I think this is our last one, Mark, who of course I picked to win the league last year, and he finished down near the bottom. Mark's VC is 4th at 322. He has the 3rd overall pick, just shy of that top tier of players because West will keep Alvin Kamara, but he did trade West to move up in the 2nd. That makes his draft board look really nice to have a high pick in the first 2 rounds. His keepers, Chubb, very strong. George Kittle, he obviously has to keep because he traded for him last year. Let's not rehash that whole thing, but he's keeping Chubb and Kittle. Got to getting the tight end taken care of. I do like, and then probably either Gaskin or Brandon Ayuk in the 8th. Depends on how he wants to go. I think either of them are strong. I really like Mark's team again this year, and my hope is that he does a better job with it and gets a little better luck. I am putting him right in the A- tier between Wes and Stan, and I have faith that he's going to bounce back and not mess up my board again. So this was the final tier list. With Swan and Bannis really high, you see all that separation. You see I don't have anybody in the A+ or A or down in the C tier. That's all deliberate. I think the league is more spread out this year. Looking at this summary chart, my biggest deviations from the value calculation are Wes, who I have overperforming. Marty and JD, I expect to underperform the value calc. Parker and I expect to overperform. Divvying it up by the conferences, you'll see that Minnie's conference has Swan and Bannis, the two super powerhouse teams, and then a huge drop-off where it looks like Marty, JD, Grant will kind of be fighting for that last playoff spot. Then you have Parker's conference, where I think every single team there can be good. That's going to be awesome to watch, and it is terrifying to be a part of. But best of luck to everybody. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Remember that it is Sunday, August 15th. Keeper selections are due in 1 week. So we'll see you next time.